Even before we get into the reading, I just quickly want to announce that I will be teaching a tarot course, a basic tarot course online starting September 9th. So if you would like to learn tarot from me, you can definitely reach out on my email to find more details, or you can just DM me on Instagram. So definitely come join my School of Magic, Divination, and Sorcery. It's going to be cooler than Hogwarts. And yeah, having said that, we'll jump into the reading now. Hello, welcome back to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit, and today we have another timeless pick a card reading. And today's topic is going to be, what is your sex appeal? So we have three piles to choose from. Pile number one, we have the Space Princess. Pile number two, we have the Masterpiece. And pile number three, we have the Siren. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, remember, these are general readings. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading, and I will see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the Space Princess, this is your reading on what is your sex appeal. So just give me a minute and we'll get to channel it. Okay, pile number one, we have 10 of Spheres, we have 3 of Swords, 9 of Swords, the Empress, 9 of Spheres, we have Wheel of Fortune, 2 of Spheres, Queen of Cups, and we have the Sun card with the Space Princess card. And we have a lot of spheres in this reading, which is pentacles in our usual tarot. So what I'm getting right away about your sex appeal, pile number one, is there is something very ethereal, otherworldly about you. You could very much be into the arts, but yet you have a very grounded presence and energy about you. What I feel is anyone who sort of interacts with your force field naturally calms down. It's almost like you have this chamomile force field around you, pile number one. And it's not just that, it's also lavender, I feel, because there's a sense of just everything will be okay and everything will work out eventually. And that's just what directly hits people when they sort of make not just physical contact with you. I think just maybe even just looking at you, you sort of exude that. And there is something very feminine and there's something very primordially dark about you too. We do have the Empress over here, and she's quite literally carrying a child. So you do have a darkness about you, pile number one, but it is not something that people can always understand. So at their level, the way they comprehend it is attraction. So what you really have is this deep magnetism. And I do feel this pile particularly is really good with manifesting, because again, the Empress, and the Empress makes things grow, right? She sustains things. So you could be very good with your manifestations over here. And if you don't feel that, you need to really work on it. And the flame is really going crazy. So yeah, you are very hot. Just baseline, you're very hot. And I think you do have a universal appeal to you. And a lot of y'all could even be older, but you do have this youthful look to you. People wouldn't believe you when you told them your age, you know? And it's very interesting. We have 10 of Spheres and we have the Empress. So even if right now you're not where you want to be financially, people can sense that you're going to be extremely abundant. So that is sort of another charm that is added to your sex appeal over here. Like, you would be very desired for every reason. It's almost like you tick everyone's preference box, if that makes sense. And I think you do know this. And I do think you're very tired and alone of being single, because we do have 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Spheres in the center of this reading. And it's very interesting. It's a tree. So I think what you're really focusing on right now is just yourself. And I think that's great. But I do think with the Wheel of Fortune, there will be someone coming into your life, so you wouldn't have to be by yourself. And for a lot of y'all, I do think there is someone already that you have met or you will be meeting soon. And again, speaking of this gravitational energy that you have, this sort of cosmic magnetism that you carry within yourself, again, we have the Sun card. And again, it's very interesting. The Sun card, everything is sort of emanating radially. And so is that happening on the Nine of Pentacles card. So again, as above, so below. And it's almost like you understand this by default. So you're able to channel a lot of celestial energy, which obviously not people are used to, right? And it almost magnetizes everyone to you in your gravitational field, because we do have the sun over here and everything in the solar system does go around the sun. And look at the flame going crazy. So I think a lot of y'all could be fire signs, or you could have prominent fire sign placements, or even if you don't, I'm getting a lot of Kritika Nakshatra energy over here. And by that, what I mean is you could have any of your prominent placements in that nakshatra. But you do have this, with that, what I'm getting, that particular nakshatra, is you do have this very cutting energy to you. You will not hesitate to burn someone for their own good, you know? So, and I do think this adds to your sex appeal, because people can see that you don't really bow down to anyone. You are sort of like your own person. And there is a lot of stubborn energy here as well, I wouldn't lie. But if the stubbornness works for you, there's nothing wrong with it, right? I'm a Taurus, that's why I'm saying that. So, no, but seriously, if your stubbornness works for you, and if you have been doing the same thing in a particular way for years, and if it's working optimally and it's doing good, then why change it, right? So I do think you have maybe people around you who want you to maybe see things from their point of view. So I think maybe you can do that. You might not want to agree with them, but I still think you need to hear people out. Because sometimes even if someone is just talking some rubbish, they can still speak that one word which would just trigger you into like an awakening. So really pay attention to even what is reflected back to you in terms of people, in terms of just your environment. And I think I'm just saying this because, again, I do think your magnetism and your sex appeal will only increase the more you sort of unravel your spiritual self over here. And again, the sun in astrology is your soul. So I do think your life purpose has a lot to do with also understanding who you truly are at a core level, and yet emanating that to anyone and everyone that you come in contact with. So yeah, and I do think this again adds to your sex appeal, because people can tell that your life is grander than yours, right? You're sort of showing up here as the sun. So a sun is much greater in terms of its pull, right, than a planet. So, and I think you have spent a lot of time just understanding how to work with this very transformational energy, how to really use that sort of fire element, but not completely let yourself burn, and yet be reborn. So there is something very deep and transformational. There is something very deep and transformational about your energy, pile number one, and people might not always be able to understand that, but it's nonetheless very, very attractive, because okay, now what I'm getting in my head is like I'm getting like the latest Mercedes model, and by that what I mean is it is refined over like decades, right? And even your weekly spiritual awakenings have the same impact as a beautiful car that has been cultivated over decades, right? So, and I do think you have a very old soul. I think that's why I'm even saying that, even if you look very young, and you have this ability to basically resurrect yourself. Yes, that's what I'm really trying to get at. You have this Venusian ability to resurrect yourself, even no matter how many parts you fall into, you're still able to come together and just activate yourself at a higher level. And I do think your life purpose, whatever it is, it's a general reading, but you're going to have an impact on a lot of people. You could even provide a service over here, whether it be a spiritual service or like a worldly service, whatever it is, you are supposed to be seen by people. Understand you are very beautiful and there is reason for that. And you're supposed to use your beauty. You're supposed to leverage that to get yourself ahead. And there's nothing wrong in that. And I do think you still have this very feminine, loving, unconditional, compassionate, loving side to you, which not a lot of people get to see. A lot of people would like to see, but I don't think a lot of people get to experience you at such depths. And I think you have a fear that you might not meet someone, but I really want you to know that just the way you have been created, so beautifully unique, there is someone to match that. You know. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. So just surrender and continue to be this beautiful, majestic tree that you are in the Nine of Pentacles card, and understand that the more grounded you are, the more firm you are in knowing your own truth, nothing is going to sway you. No matter how many storms come, you're going to still be rooted in who you are, and that is what you need to really grip at. Pile number 1. And needless to say, a lot of people lose sleep over you. I do think a lot of people like to stay up and think about you. I do think you have a lot of admirers. And I know a lot of y'all would be in the comments like, who, where? Well, it's on them, right? If they want to show themselves or not. And, rejection is protection. Sometimes you're being saved from rats and cockroaches, which, is a blessing in disguise, right? So it's all cool and it's all laid back with you, pile number 1. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like we're just chilling, So you do have this very soothing effect, and I do think you particularly maybe attract people who are extremely traumatized, and I do think you maybe have certain contracts that you have to fulfill with these people, but it's not going to last very long. And again, I really want to reinstate that you will meet someone who will match your freak, basically, by number 1. You wouldn't have to explain yourself so much. You wouldn't be so misunderstood. You wouldn't be alone in your depths. There will be someone who will be able to handle the pressure, who will be able to handle the darkness, right? Who will understand that in order to channel all this celestial energy on Earth, you have to really have your roots deep into the Earth, right? So you very beautifully balance this dichotomy. And to a lot of people, you would not make sense because, again, I think people have a very limited perception of perceiving. To a lot of people, it's either this or that, when it could be this or that, but it also could be both and also could be none. So understand the duality you are experiencing right now is exactly what you need to set yourself free. Pile number 1. And yeah, with the fire going crazy, I do think people who even interact with you very closely, especially your lovers, they do get a little burned, and not in a bad way. I do think you illuminate a lot of things to people, and it's really up to the other person if they want to pretend as if they did not see that and continue living the way, or make the necessary changes and completely transform in the fire, right? To be resurrected again with you. So understand that you do need a partner who is going to be able to transform, because your life has been extremely transformational. You've had to go through so many cycles, and it's the refinement of the cycles. I think that's where your sex appeal truly lies, besides just the superficial things about how beautiful you look and how deep your eyes are. Yes, those things are there, but it's it's your soul signature. It's your quintessence, pile number one. That is that is what people want to grasp at, because it feels so ethereal, yet they can see it. You know, it's almost like I'm looking at you through the screen. You're real, but I'm not able to touch you. I think that's how people feel, pile number one. So continue to do what you're doing, clearly. Shuffle some oracle. Okay, pile number one, we have melancholy, separation, and chaos. And isn't the separation thing I've been just going on and on about how you're extremely transformational, and you know how to whip the chaos to your benefit. You do have that skill, and you know how to learn the lessons that life has to teach you, whether it be painful or not. And you're able to resurrect yourself out of your pain. So I think, pile number one, you need to understand that for you more than other people, your personal identity is very linked to your feminine primordial dark pain. And I do think this is something generational that you are carrying. I do feel it has a very dark karmic undertone to it, but the source of your pain is also the source of your power, by number one. And that is the duality I want you to understand. And I do think you already do understand it to a great extent, but now you again need to refine this so you can really create wonders. Yeah, just look at the flame. I do think a lot of y'all are very, very connected to the element of fire, or you need to start working with the element of fire. Start doing simple, basic candle magic. I do think that will be a good place for you to start. Yeah. Again, there's so much fire on the chaos card, and another thing about you, pile number one, I feel is I do think this is a cycle where you're put into some very compromisingly difficult situations. I do think you have been put into a lot of compromising, difficult situations, but in that pressure, in that heat, it sort of activates you to your higher self, and it's almost like your higher self takes over, and you're able to create wonders. So it's a bit of a catch 22, I guess. But understand that you are very, very special. And for a lot of y'all, I do feel there is a strong starseed energy. We do have the Space Princess. Especially, you could be like Pleiadian starseeds, because Kritika Nakshatra is Pleiades, basically. So, and especially if you do feel you're a starseed, I want you to know that you're not supposed to feel uncomfortable on Earth. You belong here. That's why you are here. So take up as much space as you want. Live as many Earth experiences as you want. Do whatever it takes to feel embodied in your physical body. Yeah. So understand you're very, very powerful, pile number one, and you will be able to you will be able to achieve great things once you learn to use all your tools perfectly, where it's not harming you, or you're not confused about it. It's not causing you as much pain, because you will grow out of it, and you will be able to create something. And I do think for a lot of y'all, like I said, you're going to be seen, so you will create something that will affect a lot of people. So big stuff, big stuff, pile number one. And I do think you're just going to shine brighter, I think your magnetism is only going to increase. But it's just a matter of you using it wisely. Yeah. Any other messages? Yeah, that's all I have for pile number one. Again, it's a general reading, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video, share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for private reading, and I'll see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number two. If you chose the masterpiece card, this is your reading on what is your sex appeal. So just give me a minute and we'll get to channeling. Okay, pile number two, we have the masterpiece card. We have Four of Wands, we have Knight of Swords, we have Five of Wands, Knight of Wands, Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, Two of Cups, it's Lovers, which is card number 6, but I was going to say Six of Pentacles, and we have Four of Pentacles. So your sex appeal, pile number two, right away, what I feel is it is just who you are. It is what you do. And for a lot of y'all are like trailblazers. You're definitely in your own lane. I think a lot of y'all are very, very visible. I think a lot of y'all are seen. And people see you excelling consistently. And people know that it's not always rosy, right? People also maybe do speculate about maybe the things you go through, because I do feel there is this very public energy about you, and we do have the masterpiece card, and that is Britney in her blackout era, and that is pretty much her masterpiece album, right? So you do have a very mainstream appeal to you, pile number one. And for a lot of y'all, I do feel you could have like maybe a Sagittarius moon or prominent Sagittarius placements, because you do have this expansive Jupiter energy to you where anything you touch sort of multiplies. And people can tell and see that the difficult situations have just been a stepping stone for you to only do better. And for a lot of y'all, I am getting like very cutthroat energy, but that is where your sex appeal lies, pile number two. It is in your cutthroat behavior. For a lot of y'all, I could even sense that y'all could be Capricorns, or you have that very Capricornian energy to just not leave any stones unturned, right? To make it to the top. And I do think, especially right now, what is making you so physically attractive to so many people around you is your trailblazing abilities. And I do think you are in a league of your own, right? And I'm not saying you don't have competition, but it clearly seems like you're doing well, you're doing extremely well, and you're consistently, like I said, excelling at what you're already doing. So this takes a high because of you, pile number two. So you could let me know what a lot of y'all do over here, because there is this very no holds barred, I was sent to destroy energy. And that is a lyric from Music to Watch Boys 2 by Lana Del Rey. So and that is on the album Honeymoon, right? So I do think people fantasize about you a lot. A lot. And I know after a point, just being projected on gets very, very exhausting, but I do feel, particularly for this file, it is very much linked to what you are doing or what you will be doing. I don't sense this file is the kind to have a desk job. I don't see you sitting behind doing work. I do see you being seen by a lot of people. And you sort of excelling in those very visible spaces, pile number two. And yes, I do think a lot of y'all have very delicate and sharp features. I do think you're also very on point with your clothing. A lot of y'all could wear blue. But whatever your style is, it works. And despite you having this very masculine energy, doesn't matter if you're male, female, anything in the middle, pile number one. Pile number two, well, I said pile number one, so you might have some messages in pile number one. But what I was saying is, despite you having this very strong, go getter, fiery, I'm going to take charge, I'm going to initiate whatever I need to initiate energy, yet there is something so comforting about you. And people again love this duality about you because they know that if they're with you, they will be safe, they will be protected, they will be good, you know. They're not going to have to worry so much. So you do take people's worries away. Because if there is conflict, you will always have a resolution at hand. And I do think your energy is as such that anyone you do come across, especially romantically, feels like they are your soulmate. And I do think anyone and everyone you come across, in a way, is your soulmate, you know? But people still can't help themselves but to imagine what it would be like to be with you. And I do think you have a lot of suitors over here, but it's a matter of the choice you're willing to make over here. And I do think you still have a few miles to go before you reach your destination. So for this part, I would say it's yes, you're attractive, yes, you have a lot of eyes on you, but I don't think right now you should settle down. But you can have your fun, right? But I would not say this is the time for you to settle down because I think your career is going to ask more of you, particularly, and you need to conserve and redirect your energy to more important things because it is going to really pay off in ways you can't even imagine. So your priorities right now are going to be extremely important, pile number two. And for a lot of y'all, you feel as if you wouldn't have energy to tackle so many tasks in a day, but you will have the energy to tackle so many tasks in a day. You will get that fired up energy to again just go after whatever is in your way. So if you're getting very exhausted, just give yourself a day or two and then get back into the battlefield, pile number two, because you are leading the pack over here. And I do think you will be extremely successful in not just securing what you want for yourself, but also the goodwill, and you will be able to again help other people. Yeah. You do have this very leader-like energy, and I do think this is again related to your life purpose. And I know this is a what is your sex appeal reading, but this is clearly tied into your sex appeal. And I think with your pile, there's a need to again zoom out and look at the bigger picture and maybe try to understand why you have been given certain privileges and how you can maximize them to get the best output for yourself. Yeah. Because you will be able to, again, just go after whatever you want over here. Nothing is going to keep you stuck for a very long time, pile number two. You have places to be. And this is making you extremely attractive to everyone because people can see that, you know, you are like on your chariot alone and like I said, leading the pack, pile number two. And who doesn't want to be with the hero or the heroine, right? Who doesn't want to be with the main character of the show? So yes, pressure is high, stakes are high, but I think you're built for this, pile number two. And I do think this is just the beginning. I do sense greater achievements for you. And that's just going to be like cherry on the top of the icing, right? For you. So if you haven't been feeling very whole lately, focus more on that. Focus more on just pruning parts of yourself that no longer need to be there, yet giving yourself grace. Yeah. Shuffle some oracle. Anything I missed? Okay, pile number 2, we have Tree of Life, we have the Doctor, and we have Utopia. So, like I said, you will have the energy to again go after the things, and maybe certain things are coming up for you to heal from. Maybe certain things are coming up for you right now to clear out from your energy. And the more you're able to do this for yourself, the closer you will be to achieving your dreams over here, quite literally, pile number 2. And we have the Tree of Life as well. So it doesn't matter where you fall on the spiritual or the worldly spectrum. Even if you're extremely spiritual, I think you're being called to do something that is extremely in the 3D. And even if you're maybe into the 3D or being maybe asked and you're maybe being called to step into the most spiritual side, whatever it is for your situation, but there is a change and a transformation just ahead of you. And it is going to be a test, it is going to be an initiation. And as a result of you doing this, I think your attractiveness is going to just be off the charts. And for a lot of y'all who have a social media presence, if you're on YouTube over here, it will blow up. If you're trying to get a raise, you will get that raise. If you're trying to learn a business, you will be very efficient in that. Whatever you're trying to achieve over here is what I'm trying to say. That is going to, in a way, change who you are. And it's only going to make you more attractive than you already are. Because you will be standing in your truth. You will be doing what you have been put on this earth to do. And as a result, everyone will want you. And I do think a lot of people already want you. Pile number 2. So if you're not used to having a lot of eyes on you, you better get used to it. And if you're single, I do think you will be finding someone very, very soon. But I do think a lot of y'all are maybe already speaking to someone or you're already with someone. So if that is the case, things will again be good in your relationship. I do sense your partner might again maybe get a little jealous because of the amount of attention you're getting, but this is not the negative kind of jealousy. And I do think your partner will still be happy for you, whether it be currently or in the future. And I think this will come out in a way where they might just want more attention from you, right? It's not anything malicious that I'm sensing. I think right now you just need to empty your head. I think there's just a lot on your mind and you just need to take a breather, pile number 2. If you're indulging in unhealthy habits, maybe try to moderate that, maybe try to curb that as much as you can. And it doesn't even have to be something extreme, right? You could just be scrolling too much. So don't do that. Any other messages? Yeah, that's all I have for pile number 2. Again, it's a general reading, so please check out resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video. Share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for a private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below. So you can definitely reach out for a private reading. And I'll see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Siren card, this is your reading on what is your sex appeal. So just give me a minute and we'll get to channel it. And yes, my hands are too tiny for this deck. It's probably the biggest deck I have in terms of size. No euphemism, but I guess you could be very well endowed over here. You could be packing. I don't even know. Can I even say that with the YouTube guidelines? I don't know. Y'all better not get me into trouble. Pile number three. Okay, pile number three, we have the Siren card. We have Ten of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, the High Priestess, Chariot, Nine of Pentacles, Hierophant, Nine of Cups, Two of Wands. Right away, pile number three, your sex appeal has a lot to do with your witchy psychic energy. This is definitely my pile of tarot readers. This is definitely my pile of witches, wizards, magic practitioners, tantra practitioners. But your spiritual practice, whatever it is a major part of your sex appeal right away. I can definitely say that. We do have the High Priestess and we have the Hierophant. So there's something very otherworldly, but there's also something very dark yet divine about you. And I think you're just doing your own thing. I think you're very to yourself. I think you like to stay to yourself given how much energy you're transmuting on a daily. We have Ten of Wands, Two of Pentacles, and Eight of Cups. So I do think you've had just your own fair share of karmic events happening in your life. You've had deaths and rebirths galore, right? You've had to transform over and over again, and the fire is going crazy. So you do have this very fiery nature to you where you will let yourself be set alight and be burnt so you can be resurrected, right? And I'm sure you have some battle scars, whether it be physical or emotional or even spiritual for you all, right? But that adds character to your already very beautiful, deep persona. And I do think you have a very loud, magnetic aura. I think people turn around when you walk into a room, and you could even be very simple looking. But it's not that. It's the energy that you're exuding. And I'm getting goosebumps, and I don't usually get goosebumps in my reading. So I do think people love to underestimate you, and as a result, they have a reckoning, so to speak. Yeah. Because you already know what's up. Pile number three, we have the High Priestess for you, so you already know how it goes. You already know the cycles. You are very well acquainted with those things, you know. And I do think you're just waiting for your Hierophant, or you're waiting for your High Priestess for the Hierophant, right? Switch it to your situation, but understand that given the very spiritual nature of your existence, you will have to be with someone who, if not match your energy, but be very close in proximity to you. So you would still be able to have worldly love, but yet continue progressing on your spiritual endeavors, right? Because I do feel that is an inseparable part of your identity. So know that you will be meeting the love of your life. Over here, we do have Nine of Cups. And for this pile, I am sensing you could have an exalted Venus or you could have a combust Venus. It could be either of the extremes, right? But either way, you will find love over here and you will find someone who will just fit into your life perfectly. And I guess that was a side message because what I wanted to focus on was your sex appeal. So, and I do think this maybe adds to your sex appeal because people can maybe sense that you're not very desperate anymore. You're not looking for love. And when you're not looking for love, it naturally makes you more attractive. I don't know. It's probably like how pheromones work with humans, right? It's probably just that. And because you don't have a charge towards it has created a vacuum in your life. So I do think you already have a lot of suitors, but I think you're just waiting for the right one. And I feel a lot of y'all will meet the right person soon if you already haven't met the person. And another thing about your sex appeal is you genuinely don't chase, and you just keep doing your thing. You keep looking attractive while whatever you're doing, and you have this allure to you. You are quite literally like a siren, right? Like people can see that there is something just above the surface, and as they come closer, they can firstly see the depth, and they get transfixed by you. They really do. You do have this. You have a very hypnotic glare, pile number 3, again, it's all this witchy energy, right? So you know what you're doing, and it's clearly working. Pile number 3, because again, I was at loss of words, being in your energy, and that's how people feel, because it's almost like they feel stunned, and everything just becomes very slow motion. I'm getting very Madison Beer energy over here, and I'm also getting very Lana energy. So you do have this very dark feminine primordial pain, but it's still a very arousal energy to you. I don't even know how to describe it, but it feels dark, yet it feels very hot. So there is clearly a lot of mystery around you, and I think people like to speculate, how did you end up the way you have ended up, despite all the conflicts in your life, despite all the disturbances. How is it that you're doing what you're doing, and you're making it look so beautiful, you're making it look so effortless? I do think this pile particularly, you will either have to give a service or a product, or you could very much be the product also over here, and use that to your advantage. Pile number 3, that is again a big part of your soul purpose and your life mission. It does feel like that, and it is your ability to just keep moving, to just keep thrashing through any and every obstacle in your way. That is the biggest part of your sex appeal, and yet you don't have to go out of your way to chase something. You're very good at magnetizing whatever is required of you in the moment. So focus more on your manifestation abilities, because it will really help you through the changes that you're experiencing right now. It will really help you through certain difficult periods, right? And again, you have great foresight, pile number 3, and not just great foresight. I think you also have great hindsight. So use your experience to the max. Just squeeze out every little wisdom that you can find there in the tree, right? And I know your energy is very thorough, but I do think a lot of y'all have just not hit the peak of your winning streak. And I think once you do that, you will really see what you're actually in for, because I do think a lot of things are maybe hidden from you right now, but in due time you will see it for yourself. And I just sense so much abundance coming towards you because of just the amazing yet difficult work that you have done on a consistent daily basis. Pile number 3, it's going to really pay off for you in ways you literally can't even imagine. And your siren power is only going to multiply. So keep doing what you're doing, and slow and steady wins the race, because we do have Knight of Pentacles again. So take your time to cultivate whatever you're cultivating. There's no rush. There is no hurry, right? Take your sweet time. Let even the ideas germinate within you, because you will be able to again refine those things for yourself. And I think a lot of people see what you do, or maybe glance at your pictures, and they get, like I said, they get so transfixed by just your beauty, but it is this very magnetic allure that you carry within yourself, pile number 3. It's very hypnotizing. I think that's the best way I can say it. Shuffle some more card. Okay, pile number 3, we have the drummer, we have redemption, we have harpy, and we have the wounded man. So, like I said, your sex appeal is very much in what you do, how you do it, looking extremely ethereal and beautiful while doing it, and just leading the way for people. And you have a very non-judgmental energy to you. You're not someone who judges people you will give anyone and everyone a chance to redeem themselves, and it just makes you so much more likable because you could be mean about things, but you choose to not be mean about things. And again, people really appreciate that. And we have the harpy and the wound man. So again, there are people trying to take you out, but it's clearly not working. You're only thriving, you're only doing better, and you're only going to continue to do better. So understand that you do hold a certain power, and as a result, you will just have to deal with a certain amount of goals, right? You will just have to deal with resistance and opposition, but it is what is going to help you refine your abilities by number three. So look at the bigger picture. Don't focus on the hate. Focus on why is it happening and what can you learn from it and how can you override everything that is happening, because you will rise above all the chaos over here, pile number three. And I think that is the biggest attribute of your sex appeal. Yeah. You will always be on the winning side, and who doesn't want to be on the winning side, right? Pile number three. And again, you do have this underdog energy to you, but understand the underdog, the black sheep of the family, becomes the dark horse, right? So let yourself grow at your own time and space. Let yourself evolve the way you need to. And I think just you being you, the light and the heat it's going to generate, it is going to eliminate a lot of things for a lot of people. So just you being the way you are is an example to a lot of people in a very good way, pile number three. And I'm not saying this to boast your ego. I'm just saying this because you need to understand that you are here to do something greater, and you will be able to achieve everything or anything that you put your mind to. Yeah. So you do have some very big shoes to fill. But again, if anyone can fill those shoes, it is you, pile number three. You're not afraid to go into war because you know either way you're going to win. And it is that confidence. It is just you knowing who you are, pile number three. That's where the sex appeal is for you. Besides all your looks and just the usual attributes, right? It is this very regal energy. I think that's the best way I can say it. Yeah. Any other messages? Yeah, that's all I have for pile number three. Again, it's a general reading, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you like my style of reading, please like this video. Share, subscribe, comment. It means a lot to help the channel grow. And if you want to reach out for private reading, you can definitely do that. My email ID and my Instagram handle are given in the description box below, so you can definitely reach out for private reading. And I'll see you guys in your next reading.